High above the misty peaks, where the silence speaks louder than words, a weary soul seeks answers to the heavy burdens that weigh down the spirit. Every step is a struggle against the gravity of past memories, as the young disciple carries a weight that no physical strength can ever truly endure. His eyes are clouded with the shadows of his own suffering, searching for a light that seems to have vanished behind the thick veil of his grief. The sound of a distant temple bell ripples through the air, calling those who are lost to find refuge in the stillness of the sacred mountain. At the end of the winding path, the Master sits in eternal peace, waiting for the one who carries the world upon his aching and tired shoulders. With a final gasp of exhaustion, he lets the burden fall, the heavy sound echoing the desperation that has lived within his heart for so many years. These are not just stones, but the cold, hard remnants of every insult, every failure, and every moment of betrayal he has ever faced in his life. Master, my heart is filled with bitterness. These memories are like heavy stones, and the more I carry them, the more my soul begins to bleed. The Master listens with the silence of the earth, acknowledging the pain without being moved by the storm that rages inside the young man's troubled mind. How can I escape this bitter taste of life? How can I walk freely when every memory drags me back into the darkness of my own despair? Without a single word, the Master begins to move, his presence a stark contrast to the chaotic energy and heavy sorrow of his young student's heart. Step by step, they move away from the pile of stones. Yet, the disciple still feels the phantom weight pulling at his spirit and his mind. The solution to your suffering is closer than you think, the Master implies, preparing a simple lesson that will change the boy's life forever today. He wonders if a simple ritual can truly heal a heart that has been broken into 1,000 pieces by the harsh realities of the world. Behold this salt, the Master says silently. Like your pain, it is concentrated, sharp, and capable of changing the very nature of everything it touches. He drops the entire handful into the small vessel, watching as the clear water becomes murky and saturated with the overwhelming presence of the salt. The salt dissolves, but its essence remains trapped within the narrow walls of the cup, becoming a potent and undrinkable solution of pure, harsh bitterness. Drink this, the Master commands softly. Taste the reality of the burden you have been carrying in your heart for all these long and painful years. As the liquid touches his tongue, a wave of revulsion washes over him. It is far more bitter and salty than he could have ever imagined. The sharpness of the salt burns his throat, mirroring the stinging pain of the insults and failures that have defined his life for so very long. It is too salty, Master. It is absolutely bitter and impossible to drink. Why would you ask me to swallow such a foul and disgusting liquid? The Master smiles gently, his eyes sparkling with a secret wisdom that the disciple is not yet ready to fully understand or embrace in himself. Your pain is like this handful of salt, the Master explains. It is a fixed amount. It does not change. It is simply there, existing. The amount of suffering in the world is often constant, but the way we experience it depends entirely on the vessel in which we hold it. Now, come with me. Let us take this same salt and find a different container, one that is not limited by the walls of a cup. As they walk, the disciple notices the vastness of the forest, the height of the trees, and the infinite complexity of the natural world surrounding him. He is still trapped in the memory of the bitter cup, unable to see the beauty of the path because his mind is fixated on bitterness. Before them lies a body of water so vast that the shore on the other side is hidden by a soft, bluish haze of morning mist. The lake is alive, yet perfectly still, holding within its depths a peace that seems to stretch out to the very edges of the universe itself. Take the same amount of salt as before, the Master instructs. Do not take less, for we must face the pain in its full and true measure. He holds the salt, realizing that this is exactly the same amount that made the cup undrinkable, the same weight of sorrow he knows so well. With a swift motion, he casts the salt into the depths of the water, watching it scatter and fall like a handful of falling white stars. The lake swallows the salt in an instant. There is no murky cloud, no change in color, only the return of the water's perfect glassy stillness. Now, taste the water again. Drink from the very spot where you cast your burdens, and tell me what you find in this vast blue expanse. As he drinks, a sense of refreshment flows through his body. The water is sweet, cool, and carries the faint, clean scent of the mountain air. There is no trace of salt. No bitterness remains. The water is as pure as it was before the salt ever touched its vast and deep surface. Not at all, Master. It is sweet and life-giving. The salt has completely vanished, lost in the greatness of this wonderful and magnificent lake of ours. He searches the water, but the salt is nowhere to be found. It has been absorbed, transformed by the sheer volume of the water that holds it. They sit in a companionable silence, the lesson beginning to take root in the disciple's heart like a seed planted in rich and fertile mountain soil. The pain of life is the salt, no more, no less. The amount of suffering we experience is the same, regardless of who we are. However, the degree of bitterness we taste depends entirely on the container we provide for our pain. Are you a cup or a lake? When your heart is small, even a tiny amount of pain becomes overwhelming, turning your entire life into a bitter and undrinkable draught of pure sorrow. But when you expand your heart, when you become as vast as the sky and as deep as the ocean, the pain simply becomes a part of you. We all face the salt of life, the stress of work, the sting of loss, the daily frustrations that threaten to poison our inner peace and joy. If we remain as small as a cup, these everyday troubles will consume us, leaving us salty, bitter, and unable to find the sweetness in living. To transform pain, we must first transform ourselves. We must learn to let go of the rigid walls that keep our hearts small and guarded. He feels the boundaries of his ego dissolving, the walls of his bitterness crumbling away as he connects with something much larger than his own small story. This is the secret of transformation. It is not about avoiding the salt, but about becoming so large that the salt can no longer affect you. Stop trying to change the world to suit your needs. Instead, change the vessel of your soul to encompass the world and all its varied flavors. Even the heaviest memories can be transformed. What was once a weight becomes a gift, a catalyst for growth, and a source of profound wisdom. Release the grip on your suffering. Let the salt fall into the depths of your vast heart where it can be neutralized by the power of love. He no longer feels the need to carry the bag. The stones are gone, not because he threw them away, but because they no longer define him. In the darkness, the light within shines brighter. When we stop resisting the bitterness, we find that the universe itself is supporting our journey to peace. The path back is the same, yet everything has changed. The rocks are just rocks, the trees are just trees, and the disciple is finally free. He looks at the cup one last time, a symbol of his past self, and realizes he can never go back to being that small and fragile vessel. Thank you, Master, for showing me the way, for teaching me that my capacity for happiness is limited only by the size of my own heart. He steps out into the world, not as a man running from pain, but as a soul ready to embrace every experience with a vast and open heart. Even amidst the noise and chaos of the modern world, he carries the silence of the mountain lake within him, an untouchable sanctuary of pure peace. His expanded heart now has room for others. Because he is no longer consumed by his own salt, he can help sweeten the lives of those around him. Life is no longer a battle to be won, but a dance to be joined. Every grain of salt is just another opportunity to practice being a lake. The bitterness of the past has been replaced by the sweetness of the present moment. He is here, he is now, and he is finally at peace. Remember the lake whenever you feel the bitterness of life rising within you. Remember that you have the power to expand your own soul's capacity for love. Your spirit is not a cup. It is an infinite ocean, capable of holding all the pain of the world without ever becoming bitter or cold itself. The universe provides the salt, but you provide the container. Choose to be vast, choose to be deep, choose to be the lake of infinite silence. One soul has been awakened, and the ripples of that awakening will touch 1,000 more, spreading the message of peace through the world's many hearts. Do not pray for a life without pain. Pray instead for a heart large enough to hold all the salt and still remain sweet and clear. In the stillness of the lake, we find the secret to a life well lived. In the expansion of the heart, we find our true and eternal home. May your journey lead you to the shores of your own inner lake, where every grain of salt dissolves into the infinite sweetness of being alive. Whether you are in a temple or a city, the choice remains yours. Today, in this very moment, will you be the cup or the lake? Let the bitterness go. Let the walls fall down. Open your arms to the vastness of your own existence and find the peace you have always sought. You are free. You are vast. You are the stillness that exists behind the storm, the sweetness that lives within the salt of every difficult day. Accept everything. Resist nothing. Let the world flow through you, and watch as even the hardest experiences become soft and gentle under your compassionate and kind gaze. Peace is not the absence of noise, but the presence of a vast heart that can hold the noise without being disturbed by its loud and chaotic rhythm. The wisdom of the lake is simple enough for a child to understand, yet deep enough for the wisest sage to spend a lifetime exploring its depths. Follow the light of your own expanding heart. Let it guide you through the darkness and into the radiant dawn of a new and beautiful way of living. The teacher is always with you, in the wind, in the water, and in the very breath you take as you walk your own unique and sacred path. Touch the world with love, and the world will respond with light. Become the vessel of peace that the world so desperately needs in these troubled times. Walk on with courage, carry your salt with grace, and always remember that your soul was born to be as vast and as deep as the universe. When one heart expands, it creates a ripple that can change the world. Be the start of that ripple. Be the lake for someone who is still a cup. You are a drop of water, but you are also the entire ocean. Realize your true nature and let the salt of life lose its power over you. Every storm passes. Every bitter taste fades. What remains is the vastness of your spirit, ready to reflect the colors of a new and brighter day. There are no limits to how much you can grow. There are no boundaries to how much you can love. Break the cup and become the infinite horizon. The lesson is written in the water, in the sky, and now it is written in your heart. Carry this wisdom with you, always and forevermore. When you are at peace, the whole world is at peace with you. The birds, the trees, and the very air you breathe become your closest friends. The morning has come. The shadows of bitterness have fled. You are standing in the light of a new understanding, a new life, and a new peace. Thank you for being part of this journey. May your heart be wide, your spirit be deep, and your life be as sweet as mountain water today. Listen to the bell. Let its vibration remind you of the vastness within. You have everything you need to transform your pain into a silent peace. In the darkness, the soul finds its light. In the salt, the heart finds its strength. Be the lake and let the world be as it is. As wide as your heart is, so great will your happiness be. This is the eternal truth of the salt and the lake, forever and always. The journey continues with every breath you take. Walk in peace, live in love, and be the vast lake of stillness in this beautiful, salty world.